Tonight, students meet some potential employers.
Plus, how an old pair of shoes can help change someone's life. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Nightly News for April 4th, 2013. I'm Christina Cook.
And I'm Deatra Montgomery. Thanks for joining us this evening. Most Troy students are worried about that all-important first job after graduation. Today's students had the chance to try and help set aside some of that worry at the annual Spring Career Fair. Jamal Phillips has the story.
Thursday morning, Troy University Student Career Services gave students the chance to network and seek future opportunities from a variety of businesses around the surrounding area, hoping to meet future employers. Coordinator of Career Services says their main goal is for students to begin building relationships with employers.
We've got a good many students turning out. We've got about 45 employers here, which is a good number, and they are just recruiting our students, starting to network and make relationships with our students. A lot of them are ready to hire, especially our seniors, and some have internships as well.
Many of different companies gathered in Sartain Hall looking for students eager to join their workforce.
We are looking for a lot of students in a broad range of economic and educational backgrounds because we're working in international industry, so Troy University is a good place for us to come.
We were here looking for some business students, and I think we got a pretty good flow of resumes that come through, and hopefully we'll be able to offer some opportunities to some of those, especially in the co-op side of it, internships.
And we came out trying to recruit folks for police officer and dispatcher positions.
We are with CGI IT Technology and Solutions Company. We are an IT consulting firm, and we have an office right here in Troy, Alabama. And it has been successful. We have collected so many resumes and have met so many wonderful students and potential CGI members.
The career fair is held each year for students who are looking into future internships and employment. Some students say the career fair was very informational.
I really came out here just to find if I can get any internships started for the fall or next summer. Got a lot of information and a lot of good contact and network information.
I got a lot of information. I just came out here to see who was offering some internships in my field and just to see what they had to offer.
Every year I actually come to the career fair, and within the last year or so I've narrowed it down to my two job choices.
Cole says the career fair was a success and wants to notify the students that it will no longer be held in the ballrooms, but in Sartain Hall. Jamal Phillips, Troy, TrojanVision News.
If students miss today's fair but still need some help in their job search, they can visit the Career Service Office in 104 Eldridge Hall.
Well, speech class is a part of Troy University's general studies curriculum, but for most students, they probably don't think of using what they learn in a tournament. However, as Amanda Ford shows us today, some got that chance.
On Thursday, the Communications Club at Troy University held its annual speech competition. The students made speeches on a variety of topics.
We have several different events. You can do persuasive speaking, informative speech, poetry, prose, Spanish poetry, Spanish storytelling, English storytelling. There's just all kinds of events, and you can enter any event that you want, and we have the 3 finalists. And it's just really good practice for people of any major to come and just practice their public speaking and practice speaking in front of an audience and just get some good feedback. So it's a lot of fun.
Some jobs and classes require you to give speeches, and the competition helps students prepare for those.
I think it's just giving them some really good practice speaking in front of people and learning how to articulate and express themselves and just have inflection in their voices. That's kind of what they're being judged on, and it's just giving them good practice speaking in front of an audience and getting feedback.
I think that it's going to make me a more confident speaker in the classrooms where I have to make presentations. It's definitely gotten me out of my comfort zone, and so I'm really looking forward to doing better and being a better speaker from this tournament.
One English major says the reason she signed up today is to help younger students in the future.
I signed up to compete today because storytelling and poetry and prose and all of the things that we've been competing in are elements of something I'm going to be teaching in a classroom, and I think that having experience is really going to help me tell my students how to do it to the best of their abilities.
And how did Carter think she did in the competition?
Well, I got to the final rounds in poetry, informative speaking, and storytelling, so I'm going to wait and to find out how I did. So I'm excited.
Amanda Ford, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Well, this was the 23rd year Troy University has held the intramural speech and debate tournament. And with springtime finally here, there are plenty of people who do some spring cleaning and maybe even clean out their closets, Deatra.
That's right, Christina. And Danielle Percival will show us how you can donate your old shoes to a good cause.
Most of us wear them, we almost all have them, but some people aren't as fortunate. So one Troy University coach is looking to help others, all by donating used shoes.
Souls for Souls, they're a non-profit organization. Those shoes are recycled and sent to some other country where those are needed, sometimes in the U.S. for disaster relief. They use those shoes to prevent diseases and life-threatening illnesses, and some schools require that kids have shoes, so that allows them to go to school.
For athletes, it's often about what they're receiving, but Jenkins wanted his athletes to know the importance of giving back.
Particularly in our sport, running miles and miles and miles, we replace shoes a lot. And so this sparked the idea of, we're wasting 4 pairs of shoes a year. They're getting thrown away. I did a little research and found something that would be a little more beneficial, for a place for those shoes to go.
However, Jenkins isn't limiting this drive to only Troy University.
The biggest event, we're going to try to kind of coordinate it with our Coach O Track and Field Invitational here. And we're going to ask the other teams to bring their shoes, their extra shoes, unwanted shoes. And we're going to try to fill the bins up here at Coach O.
The process for donating shoes is simple. Just grab your old tennis shoes, flip-flops, any and all shoes are accepted. Then bring your donations to one of these drop boxes located on campus.
Basically, we have one in the men's and women's track and field locker rooms. There are other locations in the Trojan Center, near the dining area, and in the dining hall in the lobby area. And you can drop off there. Those boxes get cleaned out every day, and we bring those shoes back and collect those.
I'm taking a intermediate jogging class on campus, and there's this girl named Kendall. She's on the track team, and she was talking about it with other students. I figured, in America we have a lot of excess, and I have a lot of shoes lying around that are really nice, but I don't use them, and it'd be nice to actually give.
For more information on Souls for Souls and the purpose of the shoe drive, you can visit giveshoes.org. Danielle Percival, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Already over 50 pairs of shoes have been donated, and donations will be accepted throughout the month of April.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Mobile, authorities are searching for a shipyard worker who was thrown into the water in strong winds that also tore a troubled Carnival cruise ship away from its mooring at Alabama port. The man was one of 2 people in a guard shack that blew into the water Wednesday at the shipyard in downtown Mobile.
In Montgomery, leaders of the Senate say they expect to consider a bill easing some of Alabama's gun restrictions. The bill by Republican Senator Scott Beeson of Gardendale is on the Senate's proposed work agenda for Thursday. The bill is supported by the National Rifle Association and opposed by some sheriffs and the Business Council of Alabama.
And in Coleman, a county judge has sentenced a former Wetumpka Church youth minister convicted of sexually abusing a child to 10 years in prison. Reports say that 38-year-old John A. Ostragra of Titus was sentenced Wednesday. He was accused of having sexual contact with the victim, who was younger than 12 at the time.
And still around TrojanVision Nightly News, the baseball team hopes to extend its winning streak while ending one of their opponents as well. Mr. McNally will give you the details when he joins us with sports.
But first, new gun laws have been approved and some are in the stretches of the nation. We'll have that story and more when we return.
Day in Connecticut as the governor signs new gun control measures into law. I'm Marley Hall in Hartford. I'll have the latest coming up.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Lights there, darks there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Find out how you can live united for education. Give, advocate, volunteer. Go to liveunited.org.
Do you wear this?
the path of my life, the way it took me. There was detours and things that had to be done, but I never lost the passion. I decided to continue my education and decided to do it here at Troy. I've had a great support system with my teachers and my advisors, and I'll be forever grateful to them for that.
On campus or online, Troy offers you an extraordinary education and a culture of caring. Troy University. It's all you need to know.
My name is Deborah, and I choose Troy every day.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Christina Cook at the Global News Desk. Christina.
Thanks, Deatra. Connecticut's governor signed sweeping new gun restrictions into law today. The bipartisan legislation calls for background checks for all firearm sales and expansion of state's assault weapon ban. Marley Hall has the reactions from Hartford.
Connecticut's governor hugged victims of gun violence moments after signing the state's tough new gun measures into law. Among those at the emotional ceremony, Nicole Hockley, whose 6-year-old son Dylan was one of 20 children killed in the Sandy Hook school shooting.
While I am grateful for the progress being made, I wish more than anything that I were just back at home waiting till it was time for both Dylan and Jake to come home from school.
Deborah Davis's 26-year-old son was killed in Hartford in 2010.
We suffer every day, and we are so now feeling that this is a start, a great start.
Lawmakers passed the bipartisan legislation early this morning after hours of debate. It bans the sale of ammunition magazines with more than 10 rounds. It also expands the ban on assault weapons and calls for background checks for all gun buyers. Some opponents say the measure goes too far and hurts everyday gun owners.
These people who have no blemish on their record at all are now going to be penalized, and if they make a small mistake, they're going to be a felon.
Many who were at the bill signing hope lawmakers in Washington and around the country follow Connecticut's example.
We have come together in a way that relatively few places in our nation have demonstrated an ability to do.
President Obama will visit Connecticut on Monday as he pushes for stricter federal gun control laws. Marley Hall for CBS News, Hartford, Connecticut.
A judge sentenced a mother and father in Britain to long prison terms for starting a fire that killed 6 of their children. She called it a wicked and dangerous plot. Kitty Logan reports from London.
A British couple arrived at court in a police van to face punishment for killing their children. A judge sentenced Mick Philpott to life behind bars for the deaths of 6 of his children who died in a house fire in England last summer. His wife, Merritt, got 17 years for her role in the killings.
Victory today! They've gone down!
Prosecutors say the Philpotts planned to start a fire, rescue their sleeping children, and pin the blame on a former mistress to win a child custody battle. Mick Philpott made a frantic emergency call. I can't get them back in the kitchen! But the blaze was bigger than planned and burned out of control. Police say it was neighbours, not the parents, who tried in vain to rescue the children.
Tried.
The case has been front-page news here in the UK. People are shocked at how the children lost their lives. In the days after the fire, the Philpotts cried in front of news cameras, but officers were suspicious.
What I saw there was a guy who was sat there pretending to cry.
Police then bugged the Philpotts' hotel room as the couple worked on their cover story.
What did you cry when you were saying it? How bad?
Not really bad, but I did cry. The children, between 5 and 13 years old, were buried in 6 small caskets last May. Nearly a year later, crowds yelled at their parents as they finally got their punishment. Kitty Logan for CBS News, London.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune into Trojan Vision Global News right here after the nightly news. Now, back to you, Deatra.
Christina, and now Justin McNally joins us with sports. So, Justin, the baseball and softball team has had a winning streak lately, and hopefully they can keep that streak up this weekend, right?
That's right. Both teams are in action and have a little bit of momentum going forward into more conference play, as you said, this weekend. But we'll go ahead and get into those matchups right now in sports.
All right.
Winning streaks come and go in the sporting world. Just this year, we saw the Heat come close to breaking the Lakers' 33-game winning streak, but came up just short. And while the Trojans may not be up that high in the numbers, their winning streak is something they would like to keep going. The Trojans are riding a 7-game win streak that dates back to March 23rd with a victory over the ULM Warhawks. Impressive, right? Well, the Trojans' opponent this weekend are riding a win streak of their own. The Raging Cajuns of Louisiana Lafayette have won 9 straight games at home and do not look to be an easy victory for the Trojans this weekend.
They've got an excellent team this year, good pitching, good hitting, and at home they played awfully well. So it will be an extreme challenge, but we're playing well, so we hope we go in there and win that series.
Something that's got to give on Friday when the Trojans and the Raging Cajuns take to the field. First pitch is set for 6 o'clock. And 8 days off from the job did not affect the Trojans softball team when they defeated the Golden Eagles of Southern Miss in a doubleheader earlier this week. The Trojans are now 4-0 against the Golden Eagles this year, but now turn their attention back into conference play with a 3-game series against the Florida Atlantic Owls this weekend. And head coach Melanie Davis will be looking ahead to a new milestone in her career, win number 852.
I was laughing with Bobby Pierce, who he just got, I think, his 900th a couple weeks back. And to me, that just means we're all getting old, and we've been able and blessed to be a part of this great sport for a lot of years. I really and truly credit the players for doing a great job for me through the years. I give them the credit. I've not scored a single run myself.
The Trojans and the Owls take to the court at the Trojans softball complex Saturday for a doubleheader starting at 1 o'clock. The series will conclude with the final game Sunday at 1. And the Rodeos teams will be competing Thursday through Saturday at the Northwest Mississippi Community College. The women's team has won 3 straight team titles dating back to February. They are looking to make a run at qualifying at the College National Finals Rodeo this June in Casper, Wyoming. The women are in control of the Ozark region while the men's team is in 7th place. Over 20 colleges and universities from across the nation will be competing this weekend. And the men's tennis team hopes to get back to its winning ways as they travel to Mobile to take on the Jaguars of South Alabama. The Trojans dropped the only meeting against the Jaguars this season in the first round of the MT Shootout. The Trojans have dropped 7 of their last 8 matches after winning 6 straight. The Trojans need an impressive outing in today's match and the next 2 before the Sun Belt Tournament that begins on April 18th. And just like the baseball team, the women's team is riding an impressive winning streak of their own. The Trojans women's tennis team have won 10 straight matches and have a chance to increase that number on Friday when they take on Florida A&M in Tallahassee. The Trojans have not dropped the match since February 17th to UAB and have only lost 4 matches all season long. Since that loss against UAB, Lyubov Dorofeva has been a key contributor to the Trojans' success as she has won 9 out of 10 matches and only dropped 4 sets in the entire frame. As mentioned earlier, the Trojans will take on the Rattlers tomorrow starting at 2 o'clock. So, Deatra, Christina, a bunch of winning streaks out there for the Trojan teams. Baseball 7 games, softball, it's just 2, but they're working their way back up. And women's tennis, 10 straight and only 4 losses all year long. That's really impressive for these teams out there.
Exactly, and even though baseball is kind of big during this season, definitely good luck to the tennis team as well.
That's right. Maybe they can keep it going. Maybe make it into that national ranking sometime this year.
Exactly. Thanks so much, Justin.
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. So to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, away students can save a little money around Troy.
But first, we've seen scattered showers yesterday and today. How long will the rain stick around, Jamarlo?
Deatra, hopefully these showers will move out of our area before the weekend, but I'll get into more of that coming up next in weather.
from the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University. You're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Jamarlo Phillips joins us with weather.
So, Jamarlo, it seems like we've been experiencing a lot of April showers, especially for the beginning of the month. What can we expect for the remainder of the week and the weekend?
Well, for the weekend, we're hoping to see some warmer temperatures as we go into it, but I'll give you more of that right now. But first, let's take a look across Bib Gray's Quad. We can see that the sun is not yet set. We can see a couple of students, you can see either walking back to their rooms or going back home for the day. Going into our current conditions, we can see that right now, our skies are cloudy, temperature coming in at 55 degrees, dew point at 51 degrees, humidity at 86%, barometer reading 29.93 inches, and it's going steady with our winds coming from the northeast at about 15 miles per hour. Taking a look at today's stats. Today we were able to see a high of 55 degrees, a low of 48. There was just under an inch of rain in our area for today. Sun rose this morning at 6:28 a.m. and will set at 7:05 p.m. As we take a look at temperatures across the state, we can see that we're experiencing those mid 50 to upper 40 degree temperatures across the state right now. We can see that Mobile is sitting down here at 67 degrees, being the highest across the state. As we move northward into the Huntsville area, Huntsville is at 45 degrees with overcast clouds. Birmingham at 48, Montgomery 54, Troy at 54 as well. Phoenix City at 49 degrees with mostly cloudy skies, and Dothan at 59 degrees. Taking a look at our current temperatures in the southeast, we can see that we're still experiencing those upper 40 degree temperatures. But as we move southward into the Florida area, we can see that they are experiencing some very warm temperatures. 83 in Miami, 69 in Tampa, and 68 in Orlando. Taking a look at our current temperatures across the United States, we can see that unlike our areas north of us are experiencing just about the same mid 50 degree temperatures above in the Tennessee areas. Also, taking a look at the Texas area right here, we can see they're experiencing some very warm temperatures as well, upper 60 to lower 70 degree temperatures in the Texas area. Taking a look at our current surface map across the United States, we can see that we have a few high pressure systems sitting out here in the north of Texas and also also west of Texas. Taking a closer look into our area, we can see that in our area we will not be experiencing any showers in the next 48 hours or the next day or so. But as we go into our precipitation forecast, we can see for the next 48 hours, we may see a slight chance of rain. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Like I said before, it won't be anything too horrendous. Taking a look at Friday's forecast, Friday that rain will continue to push out of our area. As we go into Sunday's forecast, we should be experiencing a very clear weekend, and going into Monday of next week, we see that hopefully those temperatures will begin to warm up and we'll begin to see those spring temperatures again. Going into Tuesday's forecast, our area still will remain clear, but as we look towards the west, the eastern portions of Texas, as well as states above Texas, we can see that they will be experiencing about a quarter of an inch of rain on Tuesday. Taking a look at tonight's forecast. Tonight we'll be seeing some cloudy skies, a slight chance of rain, light and variable winds coming from the north at about 7 miles per hour with a low of 48 degrees. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast. Tomorrow we'll be seeing cloudy skies as well, breezy winds coming from the north-northwest at about 11 miles per hour with a high of 69 degrees. We can see those temperatures will begin to pick back up, hopefully reaching the 70 degree mark as we go into the weekend. Going into our 4-day forecast. For tomorrow, we'll be seeing a high of 69 degrees and a low of 42. Saturday, mostly sunny skies, a high of 77 degrees and a low of 54. Sunday, partly cloudy skies, a high of 78. And Monday, 81 degrees being the high. So, Deatra, Christina, we can see that as we go into the weekend, those temperatures will definitely warm back up.
Well, that's always good news. Warm temperature and no rain.
Definitely.
Thanks so much, Jamarlo.
Thanks, Jamarlo.